Hey guys, in this video I am checking a Rheem gas pack. I'm sorry, it's actually a Ruud, and it is owned by a good friend of the boss man. He said that he had had some issues the other day and changed the batteries on the thermostat. Everything seemed to be running all right, but he had said that there had been refrigerant added at one time. So I started off with a leak search just to see if maybe it was bad. And as you can tell, that coil is not in the greatest shape. Right there at that bottom slab, there's actually a hole straight through the metal to the blower section of this package unit. And that piece you see hanging off to the left is actually one of the cover plates where the two coils meet. So she's not in very good shape. Got an indication on a couple of leaks with my TIF ZX leak detector. My bloodhound is actually in the shop right now getting a blood transfusion. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I tend to find more leaks on the front side of the coil where the braze joints with the U-bends are. And I expected for my leak detector to just go apeshit, but it didn't on this side. Just looking at that coil makes me cringe. That's healthy, isn't it? When I came up on these cap tube pressed up against the slab of the coil there, the face, I thought for sure I was going to get a leak, but if I had moved it, maybe I would have. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and pull the blower motor and check out the heat exchanger. You can't really tell on the video with the flashlight lighting down in that heat exchanger compartment, but he had at least 3 places where I saw something that looked like a perforation. I wasn't about to stick my screwdriver in it and make it a hole if it wasn't yet, so you won't see that on here. When the customer mentioned that he had needed to replace the batteries, the first thing I thought was maybe I can add a common wire. And so I popped the face of the thermostat and was just appalled by the wiring. We're going to go ahead and set it down and get set up for getting my superheat and subcool readings. We've got the clamps on the inside of the condenser coil on the proper copper line, and we're feeding the sensors through so that we can run the system and get my superheat and subcool here. What I will do is start off with the Z manifold hookup, and then if I don't like what I see, switch over to the 550 full hookup so that I can get more accurate readings across the system. We're going to get the Z manifold set up, and after I watched this video getting my voiceover, I noticed that I probably should have turned the ball valves off on those low loss fittings rather than spraying refrigerant. But anyway, you live and learn, I guess. But especially on package units, I love these Z manifolds. Thank you, Talon, and whoever else came up with it. Yellow Jacket, I suppose, had the idea, but they really make it nice on package units, since the charge is significantly less most of the time than what you find on a split. It helps to not lose as much when you put your gauges on. We just fired up the system, and as some of you are probably going to think already, those subcool and superheat readings don't look so healthy. Looks like we've got an overcharge. Alright, while we're letting the system run so that those pressures and temperatures can stabilize, we're going to go ahead and check capacitors. I tend to do that as a way to let the system run without having to just sit there and look pretty like I do. But checking capacitors, Rheem and Ruud like to use 3 microfarad capacitors on some of their stuff, and the only thing I don't care for on the Rheems and Ruuds is the way that they mount those capacitors. It's extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get in behind there and confirm what size it is. So on that other blower capacitor, we're going to assume, making an ass out of you and me, that that was a 10 microfarad. With a reading of 47.6, the assumption will be that that was a 50, and then at 2.8, the assumption would be that that is the condenser fan 3 microfarad. Now that the system has run for several minutes, I believe we've got our pressures and temperatures stabilized, and with pressures of 190 and 57, 58, that's kind of high for outdoor temperature of 57 degrees. I'm assuming that because the coil is in such poor condition and that it is definitely leaking, that whoever had charged it last probably had to overcharge it to actually get some proper cooling. And at 57, I should be much lower pressure, maybe in the 150 and 57 psi on the low end, and I'm up close to 200. That means we're running at what temperatures ought to be about 70, 72 degrees outside. But with the condition of that coil, I'm not going to fault them. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and share, and we will see you on the next video.